What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back and with a new video. And everybody, it's time that we discuss the 2024 presidential election because we have some major updates and borderline breaking news out of not only the Republican side, but the Democrat side. Now, this is a disclaimer. A lot of these are still early developments, so we don't know 100% sure that this will happen, but it's looking more and more likely that not only will a major candidate announce his candidacy for the Republican side, but on the Democrat side as well. Guys, what I originally thought was going to be a boring primary for both sides is going to be borderline 2016 tier of just pure comedy gold. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter account in the description down below, and join the channel today. What much more do I gotta say here? For $3 a month, if you join the channel, you can help support the daily content we all know and love. We all love that daily content, don't we, folks? It is the best way to support the channel, as just for $3 a month, you can help join today. Alright, everybody, let's get in today's video. So, like I said, there's not 100% guarantee that these major candidates will announce, but I would say it's over a 90% chance as of now. So the first major one is on the Republican side. What I dreaded the most about 2024 was a Trump versus DeSantis primary. Reason being is it could potentially fracture the party into an ununifiable state. Well, it looks like DeSantis is running for president in 2024. Now, why do I say this? Number one, we're hearing sources that privately he is preparing a campaign team as we speak, but an official announcement is expected in May if he'll run or not, because that's when the legislative session ends. But also, DeSantis has been doing events across America. Now, the first major event was in Iowa, which is like, okay, you can say what you want. It's like, okay, that is the first caucus, sure, but that doesn't mean that he's preparing a run. Then he visited Nevada a couple days ago, or actually yesterday. That's when we realized, okay, this isn't just some, oh, we're going to do an event in Iowa and just call it a day. No, he's campaigning in the early primary states, or I would say not officially campaigning, but doing rallies in the states, aka borderline campaigning. So, when you go to Iowa, that's the first sign that, something's up. But then when you go to Nevada, the third state in the primary, yeah, you're probably going to run in 2024. Now again, I dreaded this. I do not want a Trump versus DeSantis primary. And as everybody knows, there currently are three major candidates for 2024. Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Donald Trump. The reason these three of the major candidates are they are either polling or actually included in national polls, and or they're getting significant media attention. That's Nikki Haley and Ramaswamy's case. They are both getting significant media attention. Mostly Ramaswamy, he is pulling out 1%, but still, he's doing a lot of events and he is a major candidate for now. But Ron DeSantis, if he enters, would immediately become, my opinion, the biggest threat to Trump for 2024. Now, so far, we looked at the polling. And again, the polling is not everything, especially primary polling. They are just bad. But you've noticed right after 2022, Trump collapsed in the polls. DeSantis necessarily didn't surge. He more so just stayed the same. Trump kind of just collapsed because a lot of people were just stunned. They were like, okay, if Trump has lost all of his influence, he can't be our guy in 2024. Well, ever since then, he's been releasing more and more policy-based videos. And he's basically recuperated most of what was lost of the base. Now, there still are problems with Trump. I have gone on a record a bunch of times saying some of this crap that Trump's doing about, the NFT stuff, it's like, the same day you release one of your most important policy videos, it's like, that's kind of just tone deaf. But outside of that, when you look purely at policy, Trump in 2024, or I should say 2023, has been on point. And he's focusing mostly on economic issues. That's Trump's bread and butter. When he goes to social issues, that's where things fall apart. I love Trump. This is his main downfall. Cultural and social issues. While DeSantis, his weakness in the primary would be economic issues. It's a fact. He's not going to be, a trade protectionist, an economic nationalist. Sure, there's aspects of him that are kind of like that, but he's nowhere near Trump when it comes to economics. But DeSantis' strength is cultural and social issues. That's his bread and butter. That's what made him, I guess you could say, famous, or I should say, well-known within the Republican Party. He stood up to the woke crap put in our school. He stood up to Disney, though there's debate about that really went well. And overall, that's been his main vocal, I guess you could say his vocal supporters are saying, that's why we need him. He's a cultural warrior. Now, which one will be more important in 2024? Well, if we look back at 2016, economics dominated. And Trump lost some states because of social issues. I'm not denying that. But his bread and butter is economics. So when you get to states like Iowa, you get to a state like Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that's when economics are going to start mattering a bit more than just cultural issues. And you look at the polling, Trump's been polling at 55-56% nationally. And I'm starting to wonder, where are these polls from, Trump is losing the state of Alabama by 20. He's losing California. He's losing Florida by 15. How can he win nationally by 30, but he's losing a bunch of these states by 20? Which one of these are accurate? But of the, I guess you could say the big four, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and the state of South Carolina. You look at Iowa, well, it's virtually a tie. And the only polls we've had, they're from November. You go to the state like New Hampshire, Trump has surged. He's surged back to a massive, absolutely massive lead over the competition. You go to a state like South Carolina. It's closing in, but Trump is currently holding on. This is the most important state. Of the four, if you win South Carolina, you're basically getting the nomination. It's winner take all statewide. And I know some people probably win a couple congressional districts. If Trump wins South Carolina, this primary is over. Or wins the vast majority of the congressional districts. If DeSantis pulls a chunk of the districts, it's not necessarily over for him. His problem is, if Trump wins statewide and wins by a lot, well, he could be in serious trouble in the state of South Carolina. And Nevada, which was from, of course, October, it had Trump up by a couple points. So with that in mind, Trump is leading or virtually tied in the first four primary states. And he's picking up steam nationally again. Now, you look at the endorsements, and so far, Trump has gotten the vast majority of these endorsements. He's gotten people like Henry McMaster, the South Carolina governor. He's had a lot of people from South Carolina endorse him, which would bode well for him since he's running for re-election. Joe Wilson endorsed him, William Timmons. Virtually the entire congressional delegation in South Carolina, they endorsed him. Now, Ron DeSantis, on the other hand, you look at his endorsements and, well, it's a lot of people that are either rhinos, losers, neocons, or the people that Trump pissed off in the past. People like Mo Brooks, who, I gotta say, Trump was correct in not endorsing him, or I should say re-endorsing him. Brooks, he was a great guy. Man, we dodged a bullet. The fact that, he's a rhino and he should have been impeached. It's like, dude, really? You just did that because, the base liked you? It's like you burnt every bridge you had with the Republican base. Now, Lou Barletta, I feel bad for Lou. The fact he got shafted in 2022, I'm not denying that. But Barletta lost that primary in 2022. He had that primary if he actually campaigned. And the rest of the endorsements are all from frickin' Utah. I mean, look at this. Virtually every endorsement's from Utah, 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 Michigan. All the state legislator endorsements are from frickin' Utah. While Trump's, they're all over the place. And the rest of his endorsements, he is getting bigger name endorsements. Now, I'm not saying DeSantis won't get any major names to endorse him, but as of now, Trump is getting the major endorsements for the early states. Now, I said earlier that the Republican Party had a major primary borderline announcement. I think DeSantis is all about running. But that's not the only major thing that's happened in the recent days. The Democrat side. We all talked about Williamson a couple days ago, but that's not important. I also mentioned Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who publicly expressed interest. Well, it appears he's going to run for president. This is a major development. Now, I'm not saying Kennedy would win the election. In fact, we have no polling data when it comes to Kennedy. But he could potentially be someone that picks off a chunk of the vote in a state like New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Now, Kennedy has some controversial views within the Democrat Party, but what may save him is that fabled last name of his. And if he stays on message, he could absolutely get a chunk of the vote that the more centrist Democrats who they realize Biden's not there and they don't want to vote for Williamson because she's a nut job. Kennedy is somebody that could absolutely get a chunk of the vote. But I'm not saying he will win the primary, even get 15% in most states. That's the threshold. But he is somebody that I absolutely believe could theoretically get a chunk of the vote in a lot of states. And if he plays his cards right, he can make the Democrat Party sweat a little bit in a state like New Hampshire. Now, what's going to save Biden at the end of the day if he decides to run, which I think he is going to run, is the fact South Carolina's first now. South Carolina being first virtually kills any opposition's chance of winning the primary. But I wouldn't be shocked if Kennedy gets a good chunk of the vote in New Hampshire, which is second still. So yeah, that's that for the Democrat side. If Kennedy decides to run, Biden's still the favorite, clearly, but it's going to be chaotic seeing Kennedy, who, again, has some controversial views within the Democrat Party, somehow get a chunk of the vote and potentially drag on a primary that Biden and Democrats didn't want to happen. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter account in the description down below, and join the channel today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.